understand what Tier 5 is, what it means for your performance, and how to avoid it. Let's get started. We first need to refresh our memory on what tiers and grades are, and what purpose they serve in our day-to-day activities. We focus today on Tier 5, to understand what it is, and what are the consequences of being labeled a Tier 5 agent, starting with how we get to be downgraded to Tier 5. We then explore the options we have to improve our tier, if we happen to find ourselves in Tier 5, and how to stay clear of it once we get upgraded. If you never got to Tier 5, good for you. You can make sure you stay out of it by taking note of this lesson. But what are grades and tiers in the first place, and why do we need them? By grades we understand the measure of a request value, rated on a scale from 1 to 4, where 1 is the top grade and 4 is the bottom one. The higher the grade value, the higher the chances of selling that particular request. In simple terms, grade 1 leads are the most profitable, and/or with higher conversion rate, grade 4 leads have less profitability potential. This allows us to categorize the requests by profitability. The tiers are measures of agents' performance and skills with the same scale from 1 to 5, where 1 means a consistently performing agent, and 5 means an agent who needs to focus on improving his performance. By using a tier system, we can reward top performers with increased priority and access to top-graded requests and encourage low performers to take action and increase their tier. Quality work will be rewarded thanks to the grades and tiers system. In order to go from one tier to another, your performance is being compared to the performance of employees within the same tier, so it is fair to everyone, except for Tier 5. Now we will discuss how people get there and how to get out of there. But low performance can mean that some of you are downgraded to Tier 5. Let's understand more about the bottom tier. As mentioned, Tier 5 is the last tier level, and agents find themselves there if their performance over the last 14 calendar days has been unsatisfactory. Once there, the agents will have the lowest priority for new leads, or may even find themselves banned due to a poor conversion rate. Most likely they will be working with their existing leads, and use the bonus queue to increase their chances at a sale. As a reminder, if agents had a vacation or medical leave, they should not worry. If they were registered correctly in the schedule management, those days they will be excluded from the calculation. Now that we understand what it means to be in Tier 5, we will see what brings agents down to Tier 5. Before that, let's have a look at some important terminology used to calculate performance. AGP, or Adjusted Gross Profit. A financial metric that represents a company's gross profit after making specific adjustments. This formula is what determines the tiers agents are ranked in. PAL, or Cost Per Assigned Lead. Each lead costs different amounts, depending on type of request, or project. And as the name suggests, how much do we pay for each lead? CPL coefficient, or Cost Per Lead coefficient, is fixed, depending on the agent's age in the company. It influences the final cost per assigned lead. Minimum AGP not to downgrade, is the condition set for Tier 4. Minimum adjusted gross profit which agents should have in order to not be downgraded to Tier 5, if the agents drop below that number, they go to Tier 5. Minimum AGP for upgrade, is the condition set for Tier 5. Minimum adjusted gross profit which agents should have in order to be upgraded from Tier 5 to Tier 4. Upon reaching that number, the agents will be upgraded to Tier 4. So how do agents fall into Tier 5? It's all connected to their performance, as mentioned earlier. It could happen even to the best of us to have a difficult period, sales falling through the cracks in the last moment, or customers postponing the trips, or any other number of reasons. The system calculates each agent's adjusted gross profit, every day considering the last 14 days using the following formula. AGP is equal to gross profit, minus cost per assigned lead, multiplied to CPL coefficient, and all multiplied to count of new leads taken by agent. If the adjusted gross profit is less than minus $80, the agent will be moved down to the next lowest tier. The agent is being downgraded by one tier every day, if the AGP is negative. Another important mention is regarding the cost per lead coefficient that has been created to ensure encouragement and a helping hand for new agents. CPL coefficient is related to agent's age in the company. For 0 to 2 months it is 0,5, for 3 to 4 months is 0,75, and for 5+ months it is 1, and is a fixed rate. The easiest way to understand this is with an example. Let's assume we have an agent Sarah, who is a 5-month agent. On the 14th of the month, agent Sarah's stats look like this. She is in Tier 4, made 0 sales and thus accumulated $0 GP. She took 21 new leads, at a cost of $15 per lead. Her AGP would be calculated based on the formula: gross profit minus cost per assigned lead, multiplied to cost per lead coefficient, all multiplied by number of new leads taken. And will look like this: 0 minus 15, multiplied by 1, all multiplied by 21, which is equal to minus $315. As you may have understood already, we used CPL coefficient 1, as Sarah is a 5 months agent. If she were a newbie, we would use the corresponding coefficient of 0.5. Since the AGP is lower than minus $80, Sarah will be downgraded to Tier 5. Sarah will not panic, though. She knows that if she makes a minimum GP, she can be moved into Tier 4 and turn her performance around even on the next day. The system is designed to reward progress, so if Sarah, or any agent in Tier 5 can increase their AGP to higher than minus $79.99, then they can be promoted to Tier 4 on a daily basis. Let's see what Sarah came up with to improve her stats and performance. Since new marketing leads are not likely, Sarah knows her best chance is the bonus queue. She will search leads with desirable itineraries, like North America to Africa or Asia, with travel dates no earlier than 3 weeks from now, and that were not in the bonus queue for a long time. She will also take a sneak peek at the feedback left by previous agents. She will also keep working on her current leads. Bundling offers could be proposed to some of the prospective customers, and she can ensure a nice GP from the ancillary products. As well, she will try to reach out to her return customers and ask if any trips are upcoming and she can somehow help, or if they have any friends, colleagues, or family members who need assistance with a flight. But how much would be enough to move to Tier 4? Turns out, even only one sale could suffice. Pause the video to see and understand the equation, starting from the same simple formula. Gross profit minus cost per assigned lead, multiplied to CPL coefficient, and multiplied to count of new leads taken by agent. So if her new lead counts and cost per lead remain the same, she would only need a GP of $235. If she would take 3 more new leads, the equation would change, and her minimum GP would become $280, as seen in the second equation. As we see, a little bit will go a long way. Being upgraded to Tier 4 will grant a better access to new leads, leading to better opportunities. Once she gets to Tier 4, Sarah wants to make sure to improve her performance and tier even further, and for that she needs to make more sales, but also to take control of her tier and conversion rate. She can do it by planning and controlling her daily activity by taking note of leads taken and leaving feedback in the CMS request, do the follow-up required, and set appointments. You can't manage what you can't measure. Top performing agents keep track of their daily activity in CMS, and so should you, if you are not already. Write feedback, comments, set reminders, and observe how easier planning your work becomes. Another important tool is bonus queue. It is crucial to keep your customer pipeline growing, but if you rely strictly on new leads, you risk being banned if sales don't come fast. So the wise move would be to balance out your new leads numbers with BQ leads. After all, you can take up to 50. As Sarah sees it, if however she takes 10, and all are workable, she will focus on those to ensure all the customers get proper attention. This will allow her, or anyone else in the same situation, to properly follow the lead handling standards. Properly following the lead handling standards will always increase the likelihood of closing sales, as they have been expertly crafted by specialists of the field to incorporate sales techniques, excellent customer service, and rapport building. As is a common saying in sales, conversion lies in the follow-up. Another effective way of not getting downgraded and gaining more gross profit is to sell ancillary products. In most of the cases, when you get closer to the sale, you already have this bond with your customers. They trust you, so you can easily offer our additional products. Don't forget that the cost of most of our products goes to agents' gross profit. This is a great opportunity for you to not fall under negative average gross profit within the calculated period. Don't forget about our ad campaigns. Try to check, at least once per week, our new promos and ad campaigns. This can greatly help you with the customers who are in inactive follow-up responses. We all know that most of the customers are focusing on product cost. So what can bring them back to you, better than a fresh option, for a lower price? This is a great way to convert your existing clients into sales, without taking new leads counted towards average gross profit. The last 2 pieces of advice on how to not fall into Tier 2 are: continuously perfect your sales techniques, and ask for advice, if you feel that you are stuck. At the end, it is all about sales, or better saying, It is about your ability to close deals. It is the biggest myth that all the best salespeople are born with this talent. Most of them gained those skills throughout the time and a lot of investment in self-development. In our forever changing reality, it is very easy to lose precious sales, just because of self-overestimation. There are a lot of people who were great salespeople a few years ago, but have very poor results now. This is happening often because of people's mindset and their refusal to accept that customers are not the same as before. So, a great salesperson is the one who is constantly checking the changes in the sales industry, and is investing in self-development accordingly. We would like to present you some stats. In this table you can see how random agents are being upgraded and downgraded within 2 weeks. If you will pause this video and will take a minute to analyze those statistics, you will be able to see how many agents managed to be greatly upgraded from Tier 5 all the way to Tier 1. There are agents who managed to jump from Tier 5 to Tier 2 or 1, in just a few days. This table is showing us that Tier 5 is not a sentence. At any moment, on a daily basis, you can easily jump all the way to Tier 5. Last advice on how to escape Tier 5. Agents need to constantly run a follow-up, reduce markups if needed, and thoroughly check whether all best possible price quotes have been offered. For instance, not all agents tend to offer NDC, which is a huge loss of profit. Focus on sales, active and effective follow-up on each and every customer, and you will never end up in Tier 5. Thank you.